think it's rolling. Hi everybody and welcome back to our weekly live stream. My name is Alicia and in this week's lesson we are going to talk about how to use active and passive for completed actions. So a lot of people ask about the differences between active voice and passive voice and when to use them. So we're going to review this topic a little bit today. And I'm going to focus on a lot of examples that you can use in everyday life in a lot of different situations, work situations, home situations, and so on. I'm going to share an active sentence and a passive sentence, and we're going to talk about the differences between the two and why you might want to choose one more than the other. So I hope this will be a really helpful lesson for lots and lots of people. Okay. So while we get rolling, please make sure if you are watching live to hit the like button and share this video so that other people can find today's lesson. That would be super, super cool. And as always, there is free stuff for you from the link below the video or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. Okay, so while we wait, as always, I will share those quick announcements. My computer's a little slow. Okay, so I'll share those quick announcements. First, I just mentioned this free PDF cheat sheet. This stuff from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. You can find this free stuff. There's a bunch. I always show you these. If you want to print them out, put them on your phone, practice vocabulary, key phrases, key questions, like on the back of this one for directions. You can check the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube or above the video on Facebook to download these. You just need your name and your email address to get them, so check that out. There's a lot of new ones that I haven't shown you lately, so please take a look at that. Okay? That is announcement number one. Announcement number two, as always, if you have questions for me, that are totally different from today's topic, something after today's lesson maybe, after today's lesson, if you think of a small question, you can send it for this series, the Ask Alicia series, our question and answer series, where you can send me questions and I will maybe answer them. I will read your question. I can promise I will read your question. So you can send it to me at englishclass101.com/ask-Alicia if you have questions for me. This is a screenshot from that. The link for this is in the YouTube description. So if you want to send a question, you can find the link there. Also, yes, this is my Instagram. You can find me here. There is a link for this in the description as well. Ooh, okay, so that's everything. I think we're okay. I see lots of people on YouTube. Hello, lots and lots of people. Fabio and Susanna Orban, hi from New York. Hello, welcome. Victor, Kanwaljit, Rendell, Pedro, hello everybody. Great. Okay, are you also okay, Facebook? I'm coming for you, Facebook. Yes, hello, Facebook. Hi everybody on Facebook. I see you there. Okay, good. Everything is going, so I'm going to share the video, and then we're going to begin. Okay. Let's take a look at today's then. Here are today's lesson boards. This is what we're going to cover today. So, active voice and passive voice for completed actions. So, we are going to look first, what is active voice? What is passive voice? Then, we're going to look at a lot of example sentences and many different situations, and we're going to compare the differences between active voice and passive voice in those cases, okay? So if you have questions, like should I use active here, or why should I use passive here? Please send those in the chat and we'll practice. Some people are saying the sound isn't great. I've gotten that message a couple times. Let me know, remote control desk, if everything sounds good. I'll try to fix it. Okay, let's go to the first part of today's lesson then. So, active voice or passive voice. Also, if you have not, please make sure to like this video and share so other people can find today's lesson. Okay, let's begin. So, first, active voice, passive voice. What is this? Let's talk about the differences between these. It's a little bit dark, yeah? Okay. Let's talk about the differences between active voice and passive voice. First, active voice. Let's begin. What is active voice? Here are 3 example sentences. First, I opened the door. Active voice. my roommate ate the last cookie. Or, you stole my idea. Okay, these sentences are all active voice sentences. So, what's active voice for? What is happening here? In each sentence, here the subject is the person doing the action. In this case, I opened the door. So I know the person who opened the door, me. So that's the subject of the sentence. In this sentence, my roommate ate the last cookie. My roommate, the person who did the action, is the subject of the sentence. Okay? Then, you stole my idea. So the person stealing, you in this case, is the subject of the sentence. Okay? So we use active voice when you want to focus on the person doing the action. Like in these sentences, the person doing the action is important. Or when you know who did the action. So you need to know the person, in most cases, who did the action. And when you want to be clear about who did what. So when you're talking about responsibilities, or maybe you're planning something and it's very important to be clear, like you should do this, you should do that, and so on. When you want to be very clear about roles and responsibilities, you can use active voice to do that. So the subject of your sentence is the person doing the action. Okay? So this is why, these are the reasons we use active voice. Active voice. Okay? The person who does the action is important. Yes, Javier. Okay? Good, good, good. All right. I think those are all the questions. Why is active voice, says David Moreno. Do you mean why is it called active voice? Maybe that's the question. Why is it called active voice? Because the person acting, this can help you remember. The person acting, the person doing the action is the subject of the sentence. Maybe that can help you to remember. Okay? Good. Okay, I don't see other questions. So let's compare this to passive voice now. So, passive voice. What is passive voice? Again, let's look at example sentences. These sentences are the passive versions of these sentences. So, here, passive voice. The door was opened. The door was opened. Or, the last cookie was eaten. The last cookie was eaten. And my idea was stolen. My idea was stolen. So these sentences have the same basic idea as these sentences, right? The difference with these sentences is the subject here. The subject is the door, or the last cookie, or my idea, right? In these sentences, the focus is the person doing the action. In passive voice sentences, the focus is on the thing receiving the action, okay? So, why do we use passive voice? Why do we need to do this? We use passive voice when you want to focus on the thing receiving the action. You want to focus on the thing receiving the action. Like, the door was opened. Who opened the door? Maybe we don't know, okay? Or, you don't know who did the action, or it's not important. You don't know who did the action, or it's not important. For example, the last cookie was eaten. Who ate the last cookie? I don't know. Or maybe I think it was my roommate, but I'm not sure. Okay? So you don't know who did it, or it's not important. Finally, when you want to hide the doer of the action. You want to hide the doer of the action. So, like, my idea was stolen. Someone did it. Who did it? I don't know. Or maybe you want to keep a secret for someone else. You can use passive voice to do that. Okay? So, these are the differences between active voice and passive voice. In today's lesson, I am not going to talk about how to make these. I have some lessons, I have a lot of lessons actually about how to make active and passive voice. So I'm not going to talk about that today, but you can search our lesson archives to find some information. So today I'm going to use a lot of examples. We're going to compare lots of examples of these two. So you can, I hope, make better decisions about when to use active and when to use passive in your daily life, like at school or at work or at home. Okay, cool. So that's part 1 for today. Let's take a quick break and then we'll go to part 2. I'll check your questions in the live chat. Lots of you are sending examples. These look good. My smartphone was stolen by someone, says Salma. Good, okay. Kanwaljit says he was betrayed by his own best friend. Good. Nora, thank you. Very nice comments as well. The students were asked to come earlier. Good examples, everybody. Priyantha says, please teach us how to use that with modal verbs. I'm not going to cover that today, but maybe I can include that in a lesson in the future, modal verbs with passive voice or something. We'll see. Okay, yeah, thanks for the idea. Okay, I don't see other questions, so if you missed it earlier, there is free stuff for you from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. We'll pick one to show you, but basically you can choose your own topics. Ooh, there's a romance one here. I haven't shown you in a while. You can pick one of these PDFs to download, practice, print out. You can review new words, learn new expressions. So there are vocabulary words, yes, but also questions, conversation points on the back. So check this out. You can download all of these. I think there's a lot, like maybe 30 now or so. So check these out. There's a business English one as well too. I know many of you are studying for work. This includes business meeting phrases and some other ideas like job titles and so on. So check it out from the link above or below the video. To get that, you need your name and an email address, and that's it. Okay. Let's go to part 2 for today's lesson. Also, if you haven't, please make sure to hit the like button so other people can find this lesson and share too, yeah? Okay, let's go to part 2 and part 3 really. So next, the part 2 and part 3 for today are going to focus on lots of examples. We're going to compare the active and passive versions of sentences and explain why you might want to use one more than the other, okay? So let's take a look. So to explain this, I've put in black the situation. So a sample situation you can think about. And then in blue will be active voice. In red will be passive voice. So we're going to compare them and talk about why you should choose one. Okay, so for example, if you are at work or at school or maybe home, after you finish a task, a task is some responsibility, something you need to do. After you finish a task, like a report, maybe you write a report. Active voice is, I finished the report. I finished the report. You could write it in an email or tell your manager. Passive voice, the report was finished. The report was finished. Okay, so when should you use active? When should you use passive? Both are 100% correct. Both express the same idea. An active voice sentence here communicates, I did this thing. So if it's important to you to express that you want the credit, you want to show responsibility for this task, you can use active voice to do that. If it's not so important to explain who made the report, if it's like just a regular task or somehow maybe it was part of a team effort, maybe, you can say the report was finished. Or maybe if you're worried about the report, if there's something bad in the report, you could say the report was finished and try to remove yourself from the statement, okay? So, again, both are correct, but I finished the report is like, look at me, I did this thing. That's the difference, okay? Then, let's go to the next one. I'm looking for your questions too. If you have questions, send them in the chat. I'll try to check live. Okay, next one. How about when you have not finished a task yet? So maybe you expect to finish a task, but it's not done yet. Active voice. You can say, I have not finished the report yet. So yet you can include, I haven't finished the report, or I haven't finished the report yet. Passive voice. The report has not been finished yet. The report has not been finished yet. Okay, so when should I use this? Again, when you want to show your responsibility, I have not finished the report yet. It's me. I am the reason the report is not done. You can use active voice. So if you want to take responsibility, you can use active voice here. I have not finished the report yet. Okay? Passive voice then. The report has not been finished yet. Oh, okay. But I don't mention me in this sentence. Just the report has not been finished yet. So my responsibility is maybe not so clear. So this is a great example of a situation where we tend to choose passive. We tend to choose passive more in kind of negative situations, like I didn't finish something, or I broke something, or I maybe caused a problem. When we want to kind of hide from the responsibility a little bit, we use passive voice to do that with our words. So the report has not been finished yet is totally true, but I don't want to make it clear that it's my fault. Okay? So this is a situation where we might use passive. Okay? All right. Okay, I don't see other questions, so I'm going to continue. Next one. When you're working in a team, so in a team at school or in a team at work or hobby team, let's say when your team creates something great, like a new product, for example. Okay? So, active voice. Our team is the subject. Our team made an incredible product. So, incredible means very, very good, amazing, excellent. Our team made an incredible product. Passive. An incredible product was made. An incredible product was made. Okay, so what's the difference here? In this sentence, in this pair, our team is the focus in the active sentence. So if you are trying to create a good team environment, like everybody is working together, you want to give your team a compliment, or you want to note your team's great work, you can use active voice to do that. Our team made an incredible product. If, however, you want to use this sentence, an incredible product was made, you don't want to focus on your team. You want to focus on the product. So maybe you've seen a sentence like this on like sales website. So like on a smartphone product information sheet, yeah? The focus is on the product, right? Not the person, not the group of people who made it. So this is the nuance in difference between active voice and passive voice. Okay? Oh, David Moreno says active voice and passive voice only when you're talking about the past. No, not only when you're talking about the past. In today's lesson, yes, I'm focusing on active voice and passive voice for completed actions. Okay? All right. John Carlo, how do we know for sure if it's passive or active? Also, happy birthday. How do you know it's my birthday? That's amazing. Passive voice or active voice. I'm not talking about the differences between the two today, but look for that was and, let's see, where's it here? Was plus verb. So like in this, oh, this is a bad example. Was made, this before your verb here, this is a good sign of passive voice, yeah? I have a lot of videos about that on the channel, but that's a quick hint, okay? Okay, let's go to the next part. All right, the next one is this one. Oh, very, very important one here. The next situation, when someone makes a mistake. When someone makes a mistake, so you or another person. For example, Alicia wrote the wrong information in the spreadsheet. Alicia wrote the wrong information in the spreadsheet. What's a spreadsheet? a spreadsheet is, if you know Excel files, those documents are called spreadsheets, okay? Alicia wrote the wrong information in the spreadsheet. Active voice. Passive voice. The wrong information was written in the spreadsheet. So, the difference. In the active voice sentence, I'm saying, it was Alicia. Alicia wrote the wrong information in the spreadsheet. Oh no, it was her. I saw her. So, I'm very direct, right? It was you. In this sentence, the wrong information was written in the spreadsheet. It's like, maybe, I don't know who did it. Or, I know it was Alicia, but I don't want to make her feel bad. So, you can use this to express, I noticed a problem, I want to express the problem, but it's not important to say it was you. So, much less direct. Okay? All right. Okay, so this is the first part. Virginia Prada says, can I say an incredible product has been made? Yeah, that's totally correct. An incredible product has been made. Sure, that's grammatically correct. Okay. Priyantha says, can we watch this lesson again on your YouTube channel? Yes, this video is being broadcast live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So you can watch after as well. Okay. Good. I'll take one more short break and then we'll go to the last group of examples. The last group is just 3 example situations. I included some kind of interesting expressions that are kind of common that we'll talk about. So quickly, if you missed it, there is free stuff for you from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. These PDFs you can use to practice vocabulary and phrases. Check them out. Woo. So if you haven't checked, in a while, please have a look. The team is adding new stuff all the time. Like, I can't keep track. There's a bunch of new stuff for conversations and like everyday survival expressions too. So check it out. Okay. So I want to go to part 3. I'll say, if you haven't, please make sure to hit the like button and share this video so other people can find today's lesson. Okay, other questions? Yeah, people are, how do I get that? Yeah, check the link if you're on YouTube, Ahmed. Go to the link below the video in the YouTube description. Okay, let's go to the last part of today's lesson, the final part. I included some kind of interesting expressions that you might not understand at first, so let's cover these. This situation, very useful. When you want to ask someone, or someone asks you about a task, an errand, an assignment, whatever. Oh, Jayan, thanks very much on YouTube. So when you want to ask someone for an update about something. Like, let's look at this short conversation here. A says, any updates on my dinner reservation? So A asked B to make a dinner reservation. Yeah, please make a dinner reservation. A wants information. They want to know about updates. Are there any updates on my dinner reservation? B says, active or passive? Which one should I choose? So active voice is, I took care of it. I took care of it. Do you know this part? To take care of something. To take care of something means like to be nice to something, like your pet, to give it food. But it also means to complete a task, to take care of something. Yeah? B could also say, passive voice, it's been taken care of. It's been taken care of, which means the task has been completed. Who did it? Maybe it was me. So I included this one right here, this sentence, it's been taken care of, because you see this expression a lot in movies, especially action movies. If you like action movies, often like the bad guy will ask his team to do something bad, like hurt somebody or steal something or get secret information, whatever. When it's finished, sometimes the team member will say, it's been taken care of, Why do they use passive voice in that sentence, in like an action movie? Why? Like, it's been taken care of. There's no, I did it. There's no responsibility. They just want to report that task is done. It's completed. So this is a very common expression in media that you might hear. Okay. All right. Ansarullah Hijran says, can I say the story was written by Ali? Yes, you can. Okay. Lots of people were saying happy birthday. Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks. Okay. Let's go to the next situation. We just have 2 more. Next one I included here is about food. So when you're eating something or drinking something and you want to comment, you want to share some comment about the food or about the cooking, how can you do that? So active voice. Maybe you cooked something and you think, I used too much salt. I used too much salt. It's my fault. It was me. Passive voice. You can say, too much salt was used. Too much salt was used. Okay. I included a note right here. In a sentence like this, you might hear, like when you go to a restaurant, native speakers use they as the subject, like this sentence. So this note says, they is sometimes used as the subject to make an active sentence, like this. They use too much salt. This they we use when we don't know the specific person. For example, when you go to a restaurant and you don't know exactly who did something, but you want to talk about the restaurant generally. We use they to do that. Instead of this restaurant used too much salt or this place used too much salt, we use they to do that. So you might hear this as an active voiced sentence. Again, because the speaker wants to emphasize that the restaurant. Okay. All right. Everybody's right. No more questions now. Everybody's just writing nice messages. Okay. Let's go to our last one then. Your last one. When your internet connection dies, I want to end with a computer expression because computers use a lot of passive voice notifications. Okay. So when your internet connection dies, so your internet goes out, what happens? Active voice, your computer, my computer lost its connection. My computer lost its connection. Active voice. Passive voice, the connection was lost. The connection was lost. So this one, in this sentence, you express it was the computer. The computer was the problem. Passive voice, we don't know exactly what the problem was. Maybe it was my computer, maybe it was my network, we don't know, okay? But note here, last note for today, computer notifications often use passive. So short messages are very common, like connection lost, or file saved, or database updated, these kinds of things. So passive is used a lot with computers. If you use your computer in English, which is a great way to study, by the way, you will probably see these, something like this, every day. Okay? All right. Good. So these are a few situations where you might think about the differences between active and passive. I know it seems kind of simple, but making good choices between active and passive really helps you in making good relationships with people. Like you can protect other people's feelings in difficult times. You can take responsibility in positive times. So it's really important to know how to choose between the two. It will help you sound a lot more fluent. Okay? All right, great. So I have to finish up there, I think. Yes, it is time for me to go. So I'll show you next week's lesson information. Oh, once more too, here's today's lesson boards. If you want to take a look, take a screenshot. We talked about active voice and passive voice, the difference. We talked about a lot of situations where you need to choose between active and passive, and a couple of common examples that you might hear, like the last one I talked about, the action movie, it's been taken care of. Okay. Thanks everybody for all the nice birthday messages. I really appreciate it. That's super, super nice. Okay. Someone wrote passive voice. Your birthday is being commemorated. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. That's super, super nice. I have to go, but I'll be back next week. Next week's lesson. Next week will be April 14th, Wednesday, April 14th, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York City time. If you don't know your local time, please Google it. Or you can set a notification on YouTube or on Facebook. Or if you follow me on Instagram, I always post a link and a topic reminder in my stories. So check that out. You can find the link for my Instagram or Twitter from the link below the video in the YouTube description. Next week, I'm going to talk about quantities. How to talk about quantities. We're going to practice using too much, too many, not enough, enough, those kinds of things. We're going to cover this topic that comes up every day, a super, super common topic. So please join me again next week for this lesson. Okay? So I have to go for this week, but thank you very, very much for joining me. Thank you for all your great example sentences and your great questions. I will say goodbye. Thanks for all the birthday messages. That's super, super nice of you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy